I'm getting chills just thinking about this. He comes back from the garage and he's just crying. And he's crying and sobbing, and just immediately the entire room silences. Why am I even doing this? Why am I running this company? Why am I posting content online? Why am I doing anything that I'm doing? It comes down to something that I just wrote into my journal, which I've been sharing more of, and people seem to like it a lot. Probably because it's super off the cuff, and I don't give a you-know-what who reads my journal or the thoughts that come onto here. I think it's just really off-the-cuff stuff. So I'm going to share exactly why I'm doing everything and anything that I'm doing. And it really comes down to my main mission, which my mission is to amplify the voices of people making a positive impact in the world. That's my mission. If you're making a positive impact in the world, I want to work with you. I want to amplify your voice because you're doing good, but now let's take that to the next level. Let's give you more awareness so that you can help more and more people, right? So that's exactly what my mission is. Now, it wasn't always that. I kind of have been beating on that mission until I became more confident with it, and it might change over time, but it actually started in the complete opposite direction when growing up. Well, let me say this: many different times throughout my life, I've been in the position to want to enlist into the military, and I had some, how do I say it? Maybe some models, some influential people in my life, people that I looked up to, who were in the military, and I all throughout my life, ever since I was like a little kid, I would be renting the books from the bookstore, learning about the Army, the Navy, and like military strategy from like 8 years old and on, probably even earlier than that. The problem though, and why I never enlisted into the military, is because it actually came down to this one pretty crazy moment. It was simply crazy, right? It was very very surreal in the moment where I was at my grandparents' house with all of my family members. A lot of it. We have a big family, but a lot of them were there. Aunts, uncles, tons of my cousins. We were all just hanging out in the living room, kind of like this, and but everybody was there. Everybody was hanging out, playing, and I remember there was a phone call, and I think my nanny picked it up. Nanny answered. She goes, "Oh yeah, Paul," which is my dad's name. "Paul, can you take this call?" My dad goes over to the phone, grabs it. He kind of like looks around, looks a little worrisome, walks out into the garage, and then I'm getting chills just thinking about this. He comes back from the garage and he's just crying. And he's crying and sobbing, and just immediately the entire room silences. Like there wasn't a peep. And my dad looks at everyone and says that your Uncle Bill is going back for another tour. Now, mind you, my Uncle Bill, what a man, still alive today. I think that, yeah, his ultimate rank in the Army was a colonel, so that's basically as high as you can get before becoming a general. So he was a colonel, airborne ranger. I'm screwing up that lingo, but the big thing there was, growing up, I always looked up to my Uncle Bill. He was the man, and always aspired to be like Uncle Bill, like regimen, on time with everything, very organized, brilliant guy, but also super personable and funny, right? And so at that time, my dad came in, started crying, everybody silenced. He said, "Hey, your Uncle Bill's going back for another tour." And this was during the Iraq and Afghanistan war. And he was there for multiple tours and wasn't supposed to go back. From what my memory is, he wasn't supposed to go back. He was like finally done with his tours, and that was it. But the Army needed him, and he said yes. So that was my Uncle Bill on the call, or maybe it was his wife telling my dad, "Hey, I'm going back." The entire room broke down because he was already like put through all of this different these different tours for extended periods of time, and then right when we think he was going to come down to Florida and hang out with us and relax for a little bit, he went back. And the entire room, my entire family started crying. And at that time I was I was like, I'm never going to make my family cry like that again. And don't get me wrong, I was super young. So that's, saying it now is a little naive to think that, or it's naive because that was his job. That was what he was meant to do, what his passion was, what his mission was, right? To serve the country, to protect the family. But at my young age, I always thought I'd never want to make my family cry and feel like that again. So that was a big moment for me. And then as I got older, I started to gain more interest, and I realized, like, hey, that was his mission, that was his goal, that's what he wants to do. But then ultimately, I was like, I'm not going to do it. As I got older, then into later years of high school, college, and so on, even sometimes today, I question going into the military and enlisting. But the reason why I'm not is because I strongly believe if you want to change the world, you need to get into business. The military has its purpose. But if I want that direct and scalable impact, then I want to get into business and use business for a positive good. So that's where a lot of my mission comes from when I say I want to amplify the voices of those making a positive impact in the world. That's kind of where it comes from. Is I could have gone down the route with a gun in my hand or on foreign territory, doing many different things. But getting into this business, and if you're watching this and if you're running a business and you do make a positive impact in the world, then I may want to work with you because I want to amplify your voice, give you more awareness, give you more reach so that we can make an even greater positive impact in the world. So that's where my mission comes to. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and rip through a couple different things that you might enjoy and you might want to use yourself when you're creating your mission and establishing your direction, whether you're doing this for business or even just your personal mission. So here it is. I usually start so regimented. If you've been following me, then you know that almost all of my journal notations are the same, where I write down my goals here. I write down like a creative thing, like maybe a drawing or a poem or something, and then I write down my day with health, business, family, and finance. That's how I always structure it. But yesterday is when I wrote this down, and this was completely different. It says, a new dawn, a new day, the same life, a new way. And so this is when I was like, all right, I need to hone in on my mission. I need to use my mission and use my passion into the content that I'm producing, into the business and everything that I'm doing, right? I can talk about it and think about it outside, but I need to plug it in and dive deep. Make this right here, dive deep, make my mission dive deep into everything that I'm doing. And so I'm gonna list off a couple things that you might get inspiration from, or maybe you want to take yourself and use this to enhance your own mission and use it for your own business. So the first thing that I said, and I'm gonna explain why I even wrote these down. So I live to amplify the voices of those making a positive impact in the world. I already broke that one down for you. Check. I focus on health to improve how I live, especially through expression. When I focus on health, I focus on physical and mental health. You could have great physical health, but if your mindset's not there, then the rest goes to kaput. Or you could have great mindset, and if your physical health is not at the same level as your mental health, you're not at your potential, man, or woman, whoever's watching this. You're not at that golden level that you could be at, right? So I always put a big emphasis on physical and mental health, and to improve how I live, right? Going out, I want to play sports. I grew up playing sports. I want to go play sports with my kids one day, but I want to be mentally there as well. I say especially through expression. A big thing about what I do is there's times where I'll go on a run. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see me do some stories while I'm running, just because these thoughts come into my head and I want to express them during that time, but also I want to inspire other people to get out there, live that active lifestyle, and improve their health. I focus on business to multiply the impact I generate for the world. So this is a big one. A lot of people will get into business and they'll work just like hands-on, like, hey, I will give you this if you give me that. However, the way that we use business and the way that you could use business is to systemize your efforts. So for example, we use content like this so that I'm not just having this one conversation with one person, but I'm scaling my efforts up to generate to multiply my impact I generate for the world. So that means I'm going to post this video online and ultimately reach so many more people. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of people just from posting this video from this one effort instead of me just having the one conversation in person, which I do anyways. I love having conversations like this with people, but posting it online allows me to dial in, get real detailed on a topic, definitely more so than having a natural conversation with someone. So scalability is there. It allows me to multiply my impact I generate for the world. I focus on family to create generational success. This one's a little touchy, where I focus on family to create generational success, not to like enjoy the family and do all these things. Of course, I'm gonna enjoy my time with my family, but the big thing here is generational success, where I want my impact to last 4 generations to come. And I know that I'm not gonna, have a son or daughter one day where they're gonna be exactly like me, but maybe I can pass on some traits, or better yet, some morals that they can move along with and impact their own section or their own, they can impact the world in their own way. You with me? So creating that generational success. And here's the thing, why I'm even writing this down is because I need to get clear with it, to understand, like, why am I doing this? I know that one day I want to have a family with kids running around and the whole nine, but why? It's to create that generational success. And whenever you have that why, it makes you push through any other boundary that you could possibly have. I focus on finance, so 2 more here, about finance and being magnificent. The first one, I focus on finance to leverage resources for positive change. Massive, right? People always say, like, money ruins the world, and I absolutely can't stand those people, because you clearly don't know how to use money properly. Money is, and financial resources, how about this? Money allows you to gain more resources, and with more resources, you can do more. You can maybe not even, it's not even about having an increase of quantity, right? But maybe an increase of quality that you can help people with your resources. Example there, what if I wanted to go do a mission trip down in the Bahamas? Like, my dad actually does mission trips in the Bahamas, where he'll go there every year and basically restore and help build up the communities. They just had a terrible hurricane last year that just wiped out the entire community. Well, he goes and he fixes it all up. But I actually have a kind of a problem with the way that he approaches that mission. And the problem there is he's not using financial resources. He's only using his hands and those people on board to use their hands to really do the hard lifting there. And sure, they pay for some things, but I'm talking about gaining a ton of financial ability so that you can use many different resources, more people, better equipment, and have a better product, maybe more sustainable than what you are doing. So Dad, if you're watching this, I love what you do, but I see this as a way to be even better. Yeah. I focus on finance to leverage resources for positive change, right? And that can be anything, using my phone for quickness and quick access to the internet so I can help tons of different people, right? Positive change. I focus on magnificence. This is one that I added, right? If you know me, then I always focus on health, business, family, and finance, but I added this last one on here because it's become more and more important to me. Magnificence. How about this? Let me ask Siri real quick. What is the definition of magnificent?
Impressively beautiful, elaborate, or extravagant, striking. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
No. Impressively beautiful, elaborate, or extravagant. Impressingly beautiful. Like, how great is that? That's how I want to really attack life, is to think how can I not just do this, but not just what I'm doing, but how I'm doing it should be magnificent. It should be impressingly beautiful. It should be striking, excellent, right? That's really what I'm going for here. If I can do that in any and all ways, that's going to make me feel way better and maybe inspire other people to do so exactly the same way, or they're in their own version of magnificent. So I focus on magnificence to enjoy the moment for the sake of happiness. So for the sake of happiness, happiness is without a doubt a choice that we can make. Am I happy right now? That's a decision that I need to make, right? Maybe I'm going through some really tough times right now, which actually I kind of am. But I get to decide every morning, well, how am I going to experience these experiences? How am I going to let these things into my life, and what is my output going to be, right? These things might have an input into my life that I may not be able to control, but I can certainly control my output and my reaction or my output from what is being input into my life, right? That is all what I can control. I know I can't control everything, but I can certainly control the output, right? So that's a big one, is like I focus on the magnificence to enjoy the moment for the sake of happiness. I want to be that. I want to have that excellent, that magnificent life so that I can ultimately be even more happy, right? I know that on a very simple basis, I can choose to be happy, but having that focus on magnificence is going to make me want to be happier and maybe even make other people happier by just truly inspiring others. Boom. So that's really where it's at. I could go on here, but I think the big thing is, why am I even doing this? And why am I even sharing this? I just really want to pull the curtain back so you understand a little bit more about me on a personal note, because if you can't tell by all of this content, I'm the one doing it. We do have a team that completely helps. We have a creative director who helps direct our vision and maybe even pull some ideas and expressions out of my body and out of my mind, and a whole graphic design and video editing team and everyone of the sort. So shout out to the team for all the visuals and everything that you're seeing throughout all of our content on our profiles if you take a look at it. But the big thing here is, this is what I want to focus on, and I want you to understand so that way you completely know what to expect moving forward and how to expect it. So my name is Maxwell, coming at you from the VEE Team. We help entrepreneurs scale their brands online to ultimately close more clients from social media. The big reason why we are so good at what we do is because we actually get you into our Social Boost program. And the Social Boost program allows you to increase your annual revenue by an extra $150,000. So if you're interested in that, then you can easily hit the link either down below or in the bio of wherever you're watching this. You can find it. It'll be right there for you. It'll take 2 seconds for you to find. But yeah, if you're looking to increase your annual revenue by $150,000, then we'll give you the exact strategy on how to do that. So, coming at you. Don't count the days. Make the days count. Thanks, Muhammad Ali, for making the cover of my journal so dope. If you're interested in learning our strategy, tap the link somewhere around this video. You know exactly what we do. You know why I'm even doing it. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks.